Hello my dear Virgos, this is your love and spirituality reading for the month of May 2019 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. We are soon entering into Taurus season, so happy birthday to all Taurus out there. And I read for the signs in order of most liked videos. You can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting, donating and subscribing to my channel. I'm so grateful for all of your appreciation. If you want to support my channel even more, you can click the ad attached to this video or watch the ad for 30 seconds or to the end of the ad, whichever comes first. That is the way YouTube channels get paid and you can continue watching content for free. This is a general reading for Sun, Moon and Rising sign. The reading can go both ways. The drama is the same, but it can be different castings to the different roles by the universe. And for this reading, I used the Crystal Tarot by Elisabetta Trevisan. And I will start shuffling your cards. So, my dear Virgo, see what's going on with you. We have a King of Cups here and a Five of Swords. So some of you might have some kind of falling out with a water sign. This is Scorpio, it can be Pisces or Cancer. But it can also be like the person you love, the person you have closest to your heart. And this can also show yourself, of course, where you have a need of healing, to not take things so darn personally. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't think that you need to be in a certain way to be accepted. Just be yourself. Yes, okay. So, I call the Divine with Love and Light. And here we see, the Ten of Swords together with Five of Swords. What are you up to here now? Yes, how we heal is through the wound, okay? There's no way around it. We need to go right through it. So if it hurts somewhere, start there, and that will be your healing. So don't block out pain, discomfort, feeling of being bored or anxious, or I will soon have a panic attack. Yeah, go there. Have the panic attack. Let the body react and have its like fit or whatever. It's usually very liberating. The body is very great into healing itself. It knows exactly what is needed. And sometimes to cry and scream is what's needed. I saw this in a chiropractor practice for maybe, well, if I think it's 10 years ago, it's probably like 20 years ago. But they were coming with some new things, like some new ideas from America actually, and it was about how to just help the body, not with this like crashing and booming and banging, but actually just touch certain points, and the body was screaming and acting like this worm, and eventually everything was put into its right place. That can actually happen to you automatically, and it's for me it's kind of Kundalini awakening when that happens. For me myself, it started with meditation, where every time I went into meditation, for example in group meditation, my body started to sway like this and back and forth, and I felt ridiculous, but I just went along with it because that's who I am. So just like la 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 la, okay, so this is, and I could flex amazingly. I can never flex like that without that kind of force helping me. I think this is what you need to do, and it's actually, it will be an experience to remember, and you might need to take some time with this, a year or two, to just let yourself react in a very natural way. With the Ten of Swords and Five of Swords, it might of course be an outside entity or situation that's triggering this pain, but it's just a kind of for you, it's a help for you to find your wound so you can enter it. Okay, for the healing, King of Cups is about healing. Okay, so I called it for Archangel angels in the four corners of the world. And here we have the Star card together with the Five of Swords. So the Star card is the card of healing. So it's always synchronicity is so beautiful with tarot and spirits. So Five of Swords here together with the Star card shows what it is that needs to be healed. It's this thing with you where you need to compare yourself and be better or as good as the next person. You shouldn't really compare yourself. Find out what is your talents, on what level your body is working on, like most harmonious. Don't try to be like your mother, like your father. In Sweden we have like a certain culture, particularly in my parents' generation, that called the jantelagen. Okay, it's the law of jante. Okay, and it means that you are not supposed to tell that you are good. You're not supposed to show that you are good at anything, or you can't be better than anyone else. And there's a lot of rules with that, but basically it's like keeping people in a very humble state, but it becomes almost self-hatred. Okay, so it's a little bit this what I'm feeling here, this old jantelagen. So okay, don't do that. Love yourself. You can say it was totally forbidden also for me as a kid, because this law was still ruling, and it was totally forbidden to, if someone said that, oh, what a nice drawing you have made here, if I were in school and I have drawn some house with parents and a son, you know, the classical thing, and I had to say no, oh, I don't like it at all, it's actually didn't become at all as I wanted. So we couldn't really say thank you, I'm so happy you liked it. It was totally impossible. So if you have some remedies from this time, it was a time when we were kind of subordinated to God and the king or the emperor or the president, and we needed this hierarchy because society was built like that, and it was the people that decided your life, and then it was the other people that just did all the work. So if you want to free yourself from this, you need to start to compare yourself to others and find out that you are totally great the way you are. Okay, so call the 6 elements, and here we see, oh, the 10 of Wands with the 5 of Swords. So the 10 of, we had the 10 of Swords first, and now the 10 of Wands. 10 of Swords is kind of rock bottom. You can't move further down than that, and it means that you have to give up some of your survival skills, like how you have made it through before, because those are not going to work in the 10 of Swords state. So it's like you are being forced into a situation where you're also forced to change. With the 10 of Wands, however, you are kind of holding back that change on the other hand. So the divine is trying to, you know, push you into challenges and difficult, sad, disrupting situations. So you will, you know, give up your old way of thinking or your old way of behaving towards yourself and towards others. But with the 10 of Wands, on the other hand, you are holding back. And I don't want to be like that. No, I can't really say that my drawing is beautiful. That would be, no, it's against the rules. That would make people think, you know, the other people think that I am something, or that I think that I'm posh, or I'm like on my high horse or whatever. So the divine is pushing on one side, trying to, we need to break this person so they stop with this old thing that's both outdated and not healthy. And you, on the other hand, is saying, no, 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 I can't let this happen. So 10 of Wands is usually holding back on your natural reaction. So try to find out what those natural reaction is and why you think they are so despicable, so you can't show them in public. Start to show them for yourself at least. Start with in your own chamber. You can show tears if it's not allowed to cry. You can show anger if it's not allowed to be angry. You can have a dramatic fit if you're not allowed to be dramatic, or whatever it is that you're trying to hold back here. So I'm a little sorry for it's a little bit big contrast here. It's because the morning light is coming in. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Virgo viewers. So I want my dear Virgos to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to find yourself walking on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so the King of Cups, whoever this is, even if it's like a really difficult person in your life, they actually are difficult towards you so that you can heal. Okay, so if it's someone coming and saying, you can't say that your picture is pretty, that is so, you know, you're like too prideful or whatever. So that is the person showing you what you are not allowing yourself to do. Okay, so be grateful. Don't hate the person. Thank them. Oh, thank you for pointing out where my shadows are or where I'm not healed just yet. As I realize I don't allow myself to think that my picture is pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to tune in to you, Virgo, and your energy for a few seconds here. So my dear Virgo, this is your future there, and this is your now, and this is your past. And in the past we have a 7 of Wands. So I think you have been doing great and really learned to stand up for yourself. And yeah, there's a great foundation here, both with logic and, you know, earthbound energy like stubbornness. And there's also this beautiful friendliness and love. But with the 7 of Wands here, I think, okay, maybe it's okay to stand up for someone else and say, well, their picture is really pretty. Well, how can you say that? But you can't defend yourself. Maybe that's it. Okay, 7 of Wands. And this is in the now, and it's 9 of Wands. So 6, this sword suit, okay, it's about your thoughts patterns, and they can be very, like you're a trained monkey when it comes to your thought patterns. It's usually what your parents have told you, what your teachers has told you, what society has told you, your friend has told you, and you're trying to keep yourself into these limits. So the sword suit is about finding your own authority and kind of trusting your own wisdom instead of just repeating the old. The Wand suit is about your spiritual growth. And here we have the 7 of Wands, the 9 of Wands. It's really tough cards when it comes to spiritual growth. It's not this easy, I have so great time meditating and I can meditate for this and this many hours a day. No, it's more this challenging kind of spiritual growth where you almost feel like you don't survive, and it's trial by fire. So it means that there's a lot of spiritual energy that's paying its attention to you, and it's like going underneath the burning eyes of several suns. So, and it's really, the sun's rays holds a big potential for evolution. So we shouldn't really hide away from the sun as much as we do. Yes, we don't want to get cancer, but also the sun is evolving us and giving us a lot of other things like happiness and D vitamin and other things. So try to be a little bit more out in the sun so it can help you evolve, instead of this energy bombarding you when you are maybe indoors, and you will feel really tired and really kind of haunted or exposed to it's like this attention. So I can't really describe it more than that, but it's like it's a lot of attention on you, and you will feel drained by it, but it actually just wants to evolve you. But take help of the sun. Okay, be a little bit in the sun, and you can have like a scarf around you or something like that. Just not maybe chemical sunscreen. Don't be behind glass, because it's preventing these rays to come through, but actually be in the sun. So Nine of Wands is really a tough card. It shows you having the capacity to go through this, because it makes you very strong, but it can also make you very bitter and feel like everything is kind of going to hell a little bit, and you might start to become very like very guarded. Seven of Wands, Nine of Wands, very guarded. So it's like someone is after you, but they are not. They're just trying to help you. Okay. So this is your future, and Ace of Swords. So there will come some kind of epiphany here. You will realize, okay, so this is the way to go, and the energy will maybe ease up a little bit, but I can't promise anything, because Ace of Swords is kind of blood, sweat, and tears, and victory at last. So it's the same. It's not the exact same energy, but it will feel roughly the same. Ace of Swords, when we find out the truth first will kind of piss you off, and then it will make you free. So for example, you might get to you that you need to start to say thank you when people say, oh, what a nice dress, instead of saying, oh, this old rag. And you don't want to do that, because you're so attached to this, saying this old rag, because it makes you feel like a good person, much what we saw behind here, door number 1. You feel like a good person, like you're doing a good thing. So you don't want to change that. You feel humble when you do that, but it's not healthy, so you need to stop. And you are being kind of forced. Rather go with it, start to say, even if it's awkward, like, yeah, I really love this. It's one of my favorites. Thank you. You don't have to have exactly this problem. It can be so many different things. For example, not believing that you can be loved, or refusing to see your own faults, needing to be perfect, because if you're not perfect, no one can love you. So these kind of ideas. So if you think you need to be perfect, seek out your imperfection and start loving them. And if you think that you are not not worthy of love, start thinking that you are worthy of love. Okay. So in the past here we have the Hermit. So we could already guess this, that Virgo, the Hermit, was going through a spiritual awakening, and it's tough. It can be easy if you sit in a cave for 30 years and meditate, but being out in public and being faced with other people's opinions, like with the Five of Swords, it's not as easy. Someone says, if you think you're so enlightened, spend a week with your parents, and it goes very well for anything. If you think so, you're so enlightened when you're single, become like partner up in a romantic relationship, and it won't be that easy anymore. Okay. And here we have also the Hangman. So yes, boredom comes to mind. It's something that you need to let go of. So whatever situation, as I said in the beginning, that's uncomfortable, like stay in it and investigate it, because you are not going to be let loose out of this situation before you get this epiphany with the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, it can also be the flash of the tower, the flash that tears down the tower, but something like this needs to happen here. For you to do the breakthrough. This might also be, we're talking about like someone in your proximity, so you need to listen to your intuition and feel, oh, this is not about me, this is about my sister, or this is about my best friend, or my husband, or whatever, so, or wife. This is also pregnancy. So the Hermit is being pregnant here, and with what? 8 of Swords. So again, it's so hard with other people. When you are on your own, you don't have to, show up fancy feathers like a peacock, and you don't have to you know, perform. So I think for me it can be like this, specifically in my younger days. It was not really common for girls, for example, to drive the tractor. Okay, and I had to do this because of me having a lot of horses, and they need to be fed and have water in big amounts, so I wasn't able to carry it all out, so I drive the tractor. And we had neighbors, like beautiful neighbors that loved me, and still it's just having these windows pointing at me driving this tractor was really hard. So I actually moved to a place where there's no neighbors, so I could drive this without feeling that someone is watching me. And there's no one watching me. There's no one takes the time to look at the window and, you know, judge me for how I drive this darn vehicle. So it's just in my imagination. It's all in my head. The things that I have been taught about what I'm allowed to do and what I'm allowed to be good at, maybe as well. Because maybe I'm not allowed to be good at this. Maybe people are waiting for me to fail. So maybe I have learned something through my experience that's now kind of haunting me here. So, Eight of Swords. If you are thinking a lot, try to figure out what it is that you're thinking. And have a laugh a little bit at it, because it helps. So if you can see, oh, so I think I'm so stalked by these people, and they are actually at work now, and still I feel like this just because of the windows. So interesting. And you find the way to where you are hurt, where you are wounded, how you have been mistreated and unjustly treated in different ways that have kind of chipped away at you and your self-esteem like this. You're not allowed to be that and this. And so Eight of Swords, this is really going to be a help. It doesn't feel like a help. For now, it just feels like your life is upsetting, or in the best maybe in the best cases uncomfortable. And but it's actually a help. It wants you to get rid of these old assumptions and voices in your head. So look at the voices in your head. Give them attention. They are part of the wound. They need your attention to heal. So write it down, all your beliefs about this. And just see it. You don't have to do anything about it. This will happen naturally. Just see it. And when you have seen it, you can also notice if something happened to your body. Maybe your jaws got really tense, or your back started to hurt, or maybe you got like restless feet suddenly, or something else. So notice that too. Write it down. And then you can go to the most uncomfortable feeling and do the process of dealing with your pain. There's a video in my Q&A playlist that you can check out, dealing with pain. Also, a lot of other spiritual teachers has this. For example, Teal Swan, how to deal with pain. This is a very effective way to get in contact with your pain. You might feel, no, this is not working, because you need to see your pain, where it's located in your body. Does it have a color, a texture, a shape, a form, a momentum? Does it smell, taste? Okay, so when you have got grip of this, you can see, okay, what does it want? And you feel like, oh, it doesn't want anything. It just is pain. And then I ask again, what does it want? And you say, well, it doesn't want. Well, wait, yeah, it feels trapped. Okay, so it feels trapped. Great. Why does it feel trapped? And you do like this and process all these thingies that is kind of actually entrapping you. Oh, okay. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune. So for many of you, this has already happened. It's in the past, might have happened in April or earlier this year, or your whole life has been like this, working with this. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune, showing that this is like a scheduled situation. It was scheduled to happen like this. See the circle here. To come back to this so you could heal it. It was like, okay, in April of 2019, I'm going to look at my thoughts about how other people are viewing me. So, and there it was. So it's your destiny. It's It's one stop on the road. It's like a bus station or a train station, which you were supposed to, almost like, I don't know the name in English, but it's like when you're running in the woods and you have a map and you're going to go to different stations and, you know, do this. Orientation is in Swedish, orientering, but I don't know if it's orientation in English. It might be something else. So you can't come to this station, and it's scheduled and it's supposed to happen. So you can feel supported with this, that it's not you doing some wrong thing again, 8 of Swords, and being judged. It's actually you doing something that you were supposed to and being kind of applauded for it. So that's better. So you're doing good, doing great here. And yeah, the Chariot. So you put some new wheels on this Chariot, being able to move forward and leave these old assumptions behind. So your mind is more at rest. You're more focused on the future. You can bring in totally new events in your life, totally new happenings because of this. It's kind of karma, I guess, because we have been slaves for so many thousands of years, and it's hard to get rid of the slave. I feel like it's a chain around the neck, or a steel thing around the neck, and then a chain keeping you stuck here in some kind of over humbleness that makes you a perfect lamb to be ruled. Okay, authority or big like power doesn't want to have a lot of shepherds. They want lambs to be shepherd. Okay, so that seems amazing with the wheel and the Chariot. You really come out of the mud, or were able to solve this on schedule. Okay, and then we have the dealing with the emotion of it all, because it's still there. You were able to see the thought pattern and probably do something amazing about it. But here the Chariot 7, and here we have another 7, and we have the 7 of Wands there. So 7 of Wands, I think you were supposed to learn to stand up for yourself, and you did. With the 7 of Cups, you're supposed to learn to deal with your emotions. And that is what I talked about in the beginning, having panic attacks or anger fits or crying your eyes out, or whatever is needed. And it's a part of the Hermit journey. It comes right underneath the Hermit here. So going to the primordial swamp and check it out, okay, with the Sun, with your soul. So this is great. Seeing it with very clear visions. And 19, the Sun, 1 plus 9, what it is? 10, yes, the Wheel of Fortune that we have there. So this shows your ability to look at these situations with your soul. Here it's like internally looking, small looking at some like one issue at a time. But here with the Sun, you're starting to be able to see the real big picture. It needs to start like this, like putting attention on one thing, but eventually you train yourself. You also make new nerve cords like in your brain. It takes about 2 weeks for them to form, and then, so if you, for example, first become aware of your thoughts, so now I'm excessively thinking again, that's one thing you learned, and you can now notice when you are excessively thinking and concentrate to feel your body instead. How does it feel? So that was one thing, but then you start to also notice the nature of your thoughts, not only that you are thinking, but the nature of your thoughts, and you learn to kind of naturally change those into something that's more positive. And then you can also notice how you react when you are with other people. And it takes 2 weeks for these nerve cords to form in your brain, to like new synapse, or whatever is the name in English, to make yourself being used to looking at how you feel when other people are saying certain things. So you're looking at your own reaction to other people. And then you're starting to notice when people are rude towards you. So you notice that, and it takes about 2 weeks for you to be able to notice that, like naturally. It's like a new road being made in your brain. And then you start to actually, say no and put boundaries. And you will first notice, oh, I need to put boundary here. This doesn't feel great. And after 2 weeks or so, you will be able to put those boundaries more naturally. It will come more naturally. So this is how it works. And here you have collected a lot of these things, like these part goals, and you are now able to see more and more truths. And the truth can be very upsetting in the beginning, like it can show things that you rather would have left in oblivions, because when you see it clearly, you understand that you need to make something, you need to take some action and change the situation, because before you weren't aware of the nature of the issue, just felt uncomfortable or sad or unhappy, and you didn't know how to solve it. And now you kind of know what you need to do to solve it, and it might not be super pleasant. So I have to leave my wife. I have to quit my job. I have stayed about 10 years longer than what I should have. Something else, something that you didn't want to do, because you don't know what's on the other side. But now when you see that you can't really stick into this situation, because now you see it clearly, there's going to have to be action. And I think you already know, but it's making you a little bit uncomfortable or upset or unsettled. And here we have an 8 of Wands, so the sun and the sun's rays, and it comes underneath the 8 of Swords, so more truth, and you're actually being able to see this with other people. So there can be really complex things going on here. It can be that you have been putting up, for example, with narcissistic behavior for 30 years, okay, and now you're seeing it, and you start to tell the person, I see what you're doing here. You want this to pan out like this, but it's not going to happen like that, because I'm not playing this game anymore. It's a bit tedious. Can we do something else, please? So it's going to break old patterns, like unwritten rules that you were unaware of, and how you could be kept like in captivity by other people because you were nice, and you wanted to be nice, and you wanted to be humble, and you wanted to be all those things, and that made you kind of like an easy target for becoming victimized in different ways. People could easily manipulate you, play tricks on you, use your kindness, use your unawareness of their own their own despicable behavior, because you always had an excuse, like, oh, it's because they are tired after work, or it's because of this, or it's because of that. But here you start to see it, and then you're going to, with the 8 of Wands, it's very beautiful energy, so you're just going to feel like, don't do that all crap, we can do it like this instead. So it's a very positive energy. Usually my experience says that you will be surprised that these people want to like go with this new thing that you see, because they actually liked how it was before, when they had you underneath their boot. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles. So you're going to realize that they are not going to, they probably know that they are acting rude towards you, or they are unaware. Maybe they haven't developed these synapses in the brain that's needed to understand the consequences of the words they say or the deeds they do. So they might be blocked out from that. It might be a lot of projections also with the 7 of Cups there. So I don't think they're going to understand you at all. And for you, it's very obvious that things are going to have to change. It's just like a natural course of the river downstreams. It wants to take this way. If a person wants to stay on dry land and keep their power position, you are going to continue without them downstreams. So it's like you're separating by pure force of nature. And it's going to feel sad, because you just wanted this person to wake up alongside of you and go with you downstream. So it might feel very awkward. 5 of Pentacles, so doesn't they love me enough to you know, discuss this with me openly, and don't they see what they are doing? So you might feel like you are crazy and the other person is crazy and the world is crazy, and so I feel a little bit lost here with this Five of Pentacles card. But you're not lost, you're exactly on schedule. It's just that you wake up first, and the other people will first need to accept that they have lost their power. That can take a while. It can take a whole lifetime if they are particularly stubborn, or several lifetimes even. So they are not going to see, oh, this is how we can solve it. They will see only that, oh, this person is trying to get loose of my power. I need to put in extraordinary measures to get them back on track to where I wanted them. And so they're not going to see what you see, this beautiful epiphany that you had about how things can be fixed. They want to keep you in the swamp, okay? They want to keep you sad and depressed and feeling that you are not good enough, because you are easily to rule when you are in that state. And you are not going to stay there because you have changed, and it was scheduled like this, okay? It was meant to happen like this. And here we have a Knave of Swords, and it comes underneath the Chariot. So you're going to have to be really brave in this situation, and, you know, go against the masses a little bit, like going your own way with this, and having a voice of your own. Speak the truth even if your voice shakes, says the little Knave of Swords here. And the Chariot is kind of backing that up with you having this war carriage. And you're also standing on a chessboard, and the primordial swamp is underneath your feet. 7-7. So it's like this. You see the patterns. You also see the craziness, and you see that the person is not being logic or not being reasonable, and it feels it probably feels rather scary, because so is that person an alien, or are they like, doesn't they have capacity to love, or is it something wrong with them, and why do I love this person? So and here you kind of need to go with what you know, like the truth that has been revealed to you by your own inner work, where you have started to see one thing after another until it just like put on the light shining here. And now you see the truth, and you can't hide it anymore. So you need to stand up for it. Yes, 9 of Wands. That can be a little bit difficult, and you can feel very lonely in the world, and like you are the only one thinking like this, but you're not. It's like at least 10 or 20,000 Virgos out there having the same experience here. 9 of Wands with this Knave of Swords. I'm getting this John the Ark kind of energy, and we can feel like she was so full of fantasy. She felt like she was asked by God to do something, and she got no support at all from the humans around her. So maybe she should have said that, no, God, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stay in my lane and not go outside. What society has decided for me is for me, because I don't want to be executed. Okay, so I'm going to stay friends. But she didn't. Jesus didn't. I guess Buddha didn't either, or other revolutionary energies that have. Most of them actually lost their lives. I think Buddha is an exception, but most of them has lost their lives. I don't say you are going to die from this, because maybe you are not going to be the next Martin Luther King, but in your relationships you will be, and you might need to sacrifice certain relationships because they are not worthy of you, and they need to kind of catch up with you and the things that you have seen before it can be any kind of union again. So there might need to be a little bit separation where you go ahead here before it can be the union that you wanted all along. And that's why you have been so nice, because you wanted harmony. But harmony won't come that easy, because in this world, we have a great polarity between people that want harmony and people that want power. And the people that want power, they use the people that want harmony, because they create a lot of disruption and mayhem. So the other people will beg for peace and say, I do whatever you want if we just can stop these arguments. And here you are not really allowed to do that. You are supposed to stick to your guns and stick with your truth and what you have been seeing, and not let crazy people rule your life. Okay. Yes, and here we have a little Knave of Pentacles. Comes underneath the Hermit and the Seven of Cups. So this is the other side of you that doesn't want to, you know, doesn't want to have this war at all. You just want to play nice. You might be in a twin flame relationship situation where you need to learn the other person's game before being able to move on. So it's like one twin went this way, learn all about logic and power. You went this way, learn all about loyalty, hard work, and harmony, giving love to other people by showing like how much you care with your actions, not just saying to them how they are supposed to live their lives. And now this needs to change, okay? So you need to become this person, the truth teller, the one that sees, that penetrates with your eyes through the situation and can say what you see. And the other person needs to start to become a little bit loyal. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. And for you cross watchers, probably the other way around, because usually the people that is power hungry doesn't so often watch tarot readings, because they get so many truths that's uncomfortable, so they will leave this tarot session screaming. Okay, so, and not many of those watching. So these are for the people who that's watch, and usually you are holding the more Knave of Pentacles kind of energy here. And here we have a Knight of Wands. So this is you realizing that, yes, I want harmony, but I also realize my spiritual mission and what God has been telling me here all along about, it's like keeping, like love should be high frequency. It should be very chivalry. It should be about, I want the other person to be happy and I want to be happy too. And it should be about high values, moral standards and things like this. And if this isn't lived up to, if people in a relationship doesn't have each other's back, they are not honest towards each other, they are not supportive towards each other, loyal, they don't help each other, they don't do service to each other, things like this, it's not love. And here you are like a knight in shining armor here, going to spread the word like of ignition to the people. So, and your people might be the closest people to you. It might be a big crowd of people as well, with the sun here and the Knight of Wands. But it's something you didn't want to do. You didn't want to have this light upon you. You just wanted people to discover this themselves and kind of figure it out themselves. They must understand that this is unfair to me in this situation. And you kept it kind of quiet and looked at these persons, or this person with, you know, wandering eyes. So doesn't they realize just yet that they are being mean to me, and you hope that they could read your mind, but they didn't, and they didn't want to. They wanted you where you were, underneath their boot, and in like 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands and 7 of Cups kind of despair. So that was perfect. Then you were better slave, or yeah, more controllable. So they didn't have to feel their fear, because if they can rule you, they felt in control, and like they could rule life. And here you are not being ruled. You're actually understanding that you need to start to take some action, and need to show with, you know, real action how you want things to be. So this is a little bit my way, or the highway kind of energy. And it's supported by the divine here, the Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Wands, 9 of Wands. Both of these cards are Sagittarius, and here's we have Leo there, Virgo. So you might be dealing with a fire sign. It can be an air sign as well, with the Knave of Swords there. But whomever it is that's rubbing you the wrong way, they are doing you a favor, because they are here to wake you up and show you how you don't want to be treated, or what you can't put up with anymore, and they help you change. So be grateful. And here we have a Four of Wands. So 8 of Swords, 8 of Wands. It's like how you have developed into a self-loving person that has a great self-esteem. If you don't think that you shouldn't think that you are a great person, if someone says that, oh, do you think you are so great, you just say yes. And this is the Four of Wands. So you're just cool with it. No one can touch you, and no one can hurt you if you don't hurt yourself like this. If you don't think the same things that they do, if you think that they are wrong, you won't be touchy-feely about it. You will just be like, okay, so that's your opinion, and it won't really upset you, and you won't be like crying about it. It's Leo again, Leo here also. So you see Hermit, Leo, Leo. You become like a lion here, from being this very sweet servant. If everyone were like this, we would have paradise on earth, but unfortunately we had to be triggered into growth, so we needed to have more logic into this, and the logic made people, when they had this brain, they started to see things into the future and get fearful, so they started to play chess with life, and that grow into wanting to have power. So these people are a little bit more accepting of what the day will bring, and they just try to make the best out of it. This person kind of wants to be more in control, while this person might be a little bit more humble in the face of, you know, universe and everything, and think, okay, I'm this little, and I'm here on earth, and things will happen to me, and I will do the best of them. But this person can't really accept not being like the ruler of the universe, so they will be super angry, or like feeling very unstable if something happens which they can't control. So you actually need to become a little bit more like this, take a little bit more control, be able to say what you see instead of just humbly waiting for someone to realize themselves. And you need to, you know, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. So you need to take more power. The other person probably needs to give away a little bit power and learn that they don't have control, and they can't rule the situation. They can just, it's like the serenity prayer. I don't remember it exactly word for word, but the essence is about that you change the things you can change, and the things you cannot change, you accept. And you become wise enough to know which things you can change and which you can't change, and you just need to accept. So it's about doing what you can, but also accepting when you can't do anything, and just let things like play its own course. For example, you can't make this person change, so you will have to accept that they are not showing you love, but actually making you feel like you are not worthy of love at all. And you need to also accept that maybe this is not an energy you want to swim around in. So you love yourself instead, and you will tell this person very, very truthfully, and also not particularly reactive. I don't see anger here. I just see a person being kind of rather cool with this. I think I will take down the curtain now. It becomes a little bit too much contrast in the picture. So I hope that's a little bit better. Yeah, beautiful pink light in the candles for some reason. Okay, next card here is the Five of Wands. So you will have to go to war, and you won't be really triggered by this war, is what I'm feeling with this Knight of sorry, what happened now? So Knight of Wands and Four of Wands. I don't think you will be particularly reactive, but it won't be comfortable for you to be in this war situation. But it's just, it is what it is. Okay, you can't stand to be unjustly treated either, or be treated like crap, like you don't matter, or your emotions doesn't matter, or that you are not worthy of being treated in a respectful way. So bring it on, just bring it on. And it doesn't seem super upsetting, it just seems necessary. So I don't think you will be thrown off your rockers because of this. You will be rather exhilarated and feel rather supported, I think, with this. You will know that the divine, with the Wheel of Fortune there, 5 of coins and 5 of wands, wants you to deal with this. Like, you need to actually stand up and say something. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, because I have a lot of Swedish references, but I can't really explain them in a short amount of time for you. But there's a Swedish author that calls Astrid Lindgren. She's super great. She has done wrote an epic story that calls the brothers Lionheart, okay, the Lionheart brothers. And one of these brothers was exactly like this, like super loving and didn't want to harm anyone, but they were ruled, or another village was ruled by a big dictator that used people as slaves to build a big castle, this needed to stop. So this person went to the other village and tried to help the revolutionary people to free their village from this dictator that also had a dragon, I might add. And on the day of the fight, the big fight against this dictator and his army, other leaders of this group asked this person, said, you need to stand up and fight, you need to take a weapon. And this person said, well, I can't kill anybody. And then this other entity said, well, if everyone were like you, evil would rule forever. Like, no one would put an end to it, no one would stop it, because it would rule forever. But this person's little brother said, well, if everyone was like my brother, there wouldn't be any wars, okay, there wouldn't be any bad rulers, because everyone would be like my brother. So that's is true, and it's also very nice. But what the other person says is also true. When the fact is that it isn't all is like this person, we sometimes need to stand up and fight. He didn't stand up and fight in that sentence. He didn't take any weapon, but he went into the war anyways, and were successful, but without like really the fighting side to it. He just won anyways, because of a trumpet. And I think this is your speech, okay, being able to speak your truth, trumpet out your truth, and you will win without weapons. So it's the pen and the sword, you can use whatever, but you are going to have to go to war here. And 4 of Pentacles, so 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, Knave of Swords, you're going to have to build on your foundation and become much more stubborn when it comes to this war. So not budge, not give in, just keep your cool. Let there be like this harmony, and accept this harmony, and like with this person or in this situation, but build harmony inside of you. Make yourself rock solid, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, support yourself, love yourself. So when you get really anxious and feel, oh, they are going to do this against me because I know they are revengeful and now they're so pissed, you say, okay, so if they do that, I will be able to take that too. And then you get like, oh, but if I love them, maybe I will never have them close to me again, so I will be able to take that too. So whatever goes here, you calm yourself down and you put yourself in a position of accepting this harmony on the outside, but not on the inside. Make harmony on the inside. And if you feel a lot of pain, go again and again and again through this dealing with pain process, so that you will heal. So it looks very beautiful. You will kind of become a grown-up here, and this is true power, becoming your own authority. You become your own shepherd, so no one can actually rule you. They will continue to try, but they won't succeed. Ace of Swords, blood and sweat and tears and victory at last. So beautiful. Okay, so I will take some cards from the Oracle of the Angels here. Okay, see some advice for my dear Virgos. Oh. Here and now. Yes, when it's rocky, when things are not going like totally accordingly to what you want, and you actually need to be in this harmony, take things like every second for itself, like this second. Don't think about the future and what they will do or what the consequences will be, and go back to, okay, here and now. Is this person here and now? Am I breathing here and now? Can I find my inner peace here and now? Now, this second, this second, this second. Don't rush away into the future, and don't throw yourself into the past. If you do a lot, write it down, make the process of dealing with the pain, and go back to here and now afterwards. Like rise your vibration afterwards with meditation. And you can also have daily meditation, like everything you do can be meditation. Like putting the dish in the dishwasher. Be really aware of what you're doing. Don't be bored by the task. Just take one glass, put it in the dishwasher, take the next one, put it in the dishwasher, and do it very here and now. So you don't run away and make yourself anxious. Your mind is your only enemy here, truly. Okay, it's not truly your enemy, but it's the one that has the power to make you upset. So if you don't think so much, stay in the here and now, you will be able to succeed with this, being very rock solid. So I will actually read that card for you. 4. It's actually 4. I didn't notice. 4 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, and 4 here and now. So even in the midst of war, you can be just calm. You spend a lot of time dwelling on events in your past and worrying about how the future may unfold. The card serves as a reminder that the only moment that counts is now. So, return your focus to this present moment and be mindful of letting your thoughts drift away into the past or the future. Be conscious of your thoughts as they create your reality in every now moment. I live in the here and now, always conscious of my active presence within the universe and of my work on earth. I choose to live in the present moment. I am aware of what I create with my thoughts, my words, my deeds. I trust, for I know that all comes to me at the right moment when I'm ready. And this was the right moment, and you were ready, so you came into this station. And also, if you worry about the future a lot, you kind of take out the sorrow in advance. So you're sad all the time. And if you dwell on the past, you never let the past go. So you're always in the sadness of the past. It's the same if you stay, because of this, that you meet this person that's not so pleasant, or these people, you will close yourself off to love. So you're letting them have power over you for the rest of your life by, no, I can't trust people after this. So don't be the monkey mind, okay? Be your soul here and now, here and now. What do you want to do here and now? Be aware of your feelings here and now. How does it feel to interact with this person here and now? Here and now. Always be just here and now. And this will be your ticket to this healing that we saw in the beginning. So I'll also take cards from Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection by Mike Dooley. So we will first look your significant other that you're thinking of when I'm saying this. What are they feeling about you or thinking about you? You know what to do. So, in all battles, of the mind, of the heart over the mind, go with your heart, because truly it's a lot easier for your mind to catch up with your heart than for your heart to catch up with your mind, a whole lot. Not that I don't love your mind, the universe. So it kind of says that if they are acting all cool and kind of try to let their mind take control over them, it's not going to really help with stopping them from loving you. They will continue loving you either way, or the heart wants what it wants, so it's not going to. Okay, so I heard 2 songs. It came very rapidly, so we see. One has already come for another sign. I don't know which, but it's a satellite, and the other one, I think I just lost it. No, heart wants what it wants. it's sometimes very difficult when it comes so many things at once, because if I focus on one thing, then I will forget the other thing. But I didn't this time. So since I asked about their feelings and their thoughts about you, so I think satellite and heart wants what it wants is for your opponent force, even though they try to make a straight face and act like they don't care. It's just a face, and they do care. And eventually, in the end, heart will win. So it might be too late then. Your raft might have been already at sea at that moment, but it's what it is. People will learn from the consequences of their own actions. So if we act very like cold towards someone, and in the end of our days we realize that that was the love of our lives, we might do better in our next life. Okay, so what do Virgo feel or think about their significant other? And yeah, you have this great understanding, which what I felt with the Knave of Pentacles. So just expect great things from people, because you think that everyone is doing their best. There are really only two types of people: those you now love and those you will love, until there's only one type of person, and then we'll probably hit replay, the game of life, the universe. So when you have made paradise on earth, some energy in the universe will think, well, this can't go on forever. We need to spike it up a little bit, spice it up a little bit, and put in some, destructive energy, so it all can start all over and we can learn even more. But you have more this paradise essence inside of you. You just want harmony. If you were put on Pandora from the movie Avatar, you would probably fit right in. So you would be able to be in tune with nature and paradise, and you wouldn't have to have progress and things being mined out or burned down or chopped down. You would be fine with just living in paradise. But the other side of things is the ignition for change, that is not always great, but it's still change, and it challenges us to grow and grow and grow and grow. And this you can accept, I think. But you think that everyone has great intentions, and they don't. Some has really bad intentions, but by you snapping them on the nose like that with your trumpet, speaking the truth, you will be able to make them start doing their best. And maybe that's why you're here, my dear Virgos. Okay, so I hope this helped, and I want you to take really good care. I also want you to come back and watch my June reading that I will perform in the middle of May. And until then, be really stubborn, Virgo. Okay, bye-bye.